Hi, this is Reno Omokri for the Build Up Nigeria project, and today I'm with Omotayo Omotosho, the CEO of Pacesetters Communications, the immediate past Director General of the Nigerian Tourism Development Corporation, the initiator and presenter of the longest running interview-style TV program in Nigeria, Towards a Greater Nigeria. And we are here today in San Francisco at the Westin St. Francis. Omotayo, you want to say hi to my guests? To my audience, actually.
Yes, Reno. Hello, audience. It's good to be here. And I hope you're having a nice time.
Excellent, excellent. Omotayo, almost 20 years ago to the day, because I believe you started this program in 1991, you initiated the TV show Towards a Greater Nigeria. And with what's been happening, we see that the Western media has not been projecting the truth about Nigeria. You know, like they sort of have an agenda. They're projecting, they're not projecting the positive things that are happening. They're projecting more of the negative things, and they're amplifying it. You know, so one happens, and then they say 10 has happened. They amplify it. Now, can you tell us, with your wealth of experience, 20 years of interviewing the movers and shakers of Nigeria, what things are happening that makes us Nigeria?
Thank you very much, Reno. I must say that what informed Towards a Greater Nigeria 20 years ago was the dream of a beautiful Nigeria that I had. Was the fact that even 20 years younger, if we're talking of 20 years ago, I saw a bright light at the end of the tunnel for Nigeria. I saw the vast natural resources, the buoyant, vibrant people. I saw the economies that transcend beyond cultural, tribal, and emotional sentiments. And I realized that all we needed at that time was to be able to match the right people with the right policies and ensure we have policy consistency. So I am not really bothered, if you ask me, by what the other forms of media are saying about Nigeria. Why I'm not bothered is because if you don't say that you are, if you don't propel what you stand for as a nation, nobody will do it for you. So that's the way they think it's best to promote our country. It's unfortunate. It's for you and I to tell them that, wait a minute, you're getting it wrong. You need to visit Nigeria to see how beautiful, vibrant we are and how ready we are to change our fortunes for the better. Because Rome wasn't built in a day. I believe that with the kind of leadership we have now, Nigeria is moving from that level of good to better and our better to being the best. By the time I conceptualized Towards a Greater Nigeria, I wanted a situation where I want to make top government functionaries accountable to the people. I didn't even dream that I would be one of them. I didn't know that I would be appointed as Director General Tourism years along the line. I was 20 years younger, as I said. I saw a reason to go to these top government functionaries, ministers, heads of state, governors, chief executives, permanent secretaries, to ask them, what is your mission for Nigeria? You've been appointed to this post, and we want to ensure that Nigeria gets to be better. And every day in our daily lives all over the world, we're learning. So if I say Towards a Better Nigeria or Towards a Greater Nigeria, it's not that we are so bad, bad, bad. It's because we believe that we could utilize our resources better and harness the potentials we have in a more constructive manner, so that the people that would give us the 60% pass mark when we grow from better to best or from good to better, they could give us 85% or 90%. If we could get 90%, why should we contend with 60%? So I went ahead single-handedly with my television production crew, moved from one ministry to the other. Let's look at what the government is saying in relation to the economy. Let's look at what government is saying in relation to healthcare delivery services. Let's look at what government is doing in relation to education, because we dream for a sound educational foundation for our children. And the government of the day has a responsibility. What are they doing? So I saw reason to put them on the spot. I'll get a copy of their manifesto. I'll get a copy of their policies, whatever they want to do, from one ministry to the other. I'll go and say, yes, you have been appointed to this office. You were appointed some 6 months ago. These were the things you promised to do. Can you shed some more light on these issues? They tell us. Okay, how well do you think we can actualize all this? Because Nigerians are tired of promises. We go to the field to interview the populace. It's not just top government functionaries talking to us. We want our people to also have a voice. So we ask them, what do you expect from your government? The earlier you start asking questions, the better for governance. We shouldn't just keep quiet and anything they give to us, we're okay with it. And the outcome I got, Reno, was very, very interesting. I could see Nigerian masses very, very keen on knowing what is happening at the presidential villa, on knowing what is happening with the state houses when you talk of the state governments, on knowing how the government is actually poised towards making life better for the citizenry. Nigerians are talking now. And so from one ministry to the other, I was able to realize that we shouldn't make it just political appointees alone. We went to the private sector because the private sector is the engine of growth. And there'd been too much emphasis on government, government, government. Government can only do this much. The private sector is also saddled with that responsibility of ensuring that they promote the economy. So we interviewed authorities of the private sector. And what I also do is to ensure that whatever promises they give us, whatever policies they've been able to shed light on, a year, 2 years after, I go back, like a checklist, and go to the field with my team. They promised us so 3 years ago, 2 years ago, let's see if he's done it. If he's not done it, let's go back and ask him why not. So that put them on their toes. And that gives me the beautiful inclination that the dream of a greater Nigeria is around the corner. Because we are making our people, we are making our leaders accountable to us. We are letting them know that we won't keep quiet for too long. We've kept quiet for too long. Now we want to ask questions. We give you this responsibility as, for instance, Federal Minister for Works or Housing or Roads, and the roads that you were supposed to construct, so amount of the budget was given to you, and money released, not just figures on paper. We went to the field from the north part of Nigeria to the south, from the east to the west, the nooks and crannies with our cameras to feature what's on ground. And we realized that what we found on ground was about maybe 40% to what was supposed to have been done. We go back and we ask you, how can we evolve a better Nigeria? Sometimes they do have challenges. They tell us, oh yes, that's true. The amount you thought was released, this is a real amount that was released. It was in the media that so was released, but no, we had constraints financially. So we couldn't finish what we started. But good thing, with the new government in place, they've given us the financial backup. So if you could give us another 1 year or another 9 months and you come back, you get to see that we've continued those projects that you thought were abandoned. So I'm happy to tell you today that the Nigeria of today that I see is a Nigeria of promises and not unkept promises. Because when you have a leader that had gone through the thick and thin of living in the village, of going to school without shoes, without bags, without a bicycle, on bare foot, of knowing where the foot pinches, of knowing what it is to be poor, and by God's unbelievable divine will, unbelievable because it's too good to be real, but it is real, and we're happy it's happening to us. By God's divine will, he finds himself as a president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You would get to know that without anybody convincing you, such a person would have as number one priority the care and the